Hey guys, Pretzel here. Welcome back to another video. In this video, I'll be going over my top 10 action figures of 2020. But before we jump into that, I'm going to go over the honorable mentions because I do have more than 10 figures this year. I have 3 honorable mentions, so it's like 11th, 12th, and 13th place. So at 13th place, we have the move you over here more. I can't remember I think it's Figure Rise Ultraman Type B. So that's number 13. Number 12, we have the NECA Emissary Predator 1. Or I think it's the NECA Ultimate Emissary Predator 1. But anyways, you get the gift. And then for 11th place, we have the Playmates Toys Godzilla vs. Kong with Battle Axe. So that is the honorable mentions. But coming in at number 10, we have the Marvel Legends Movie Venom. Let's fix you. Oh, there we go. Movie Venom. The reason why this figure is at number 10, it's a good figure, but it does, it's not a figure that I really wanted. It's just a figure that, well, I did want to get it, but it's not a figure I needed, is what I should have said. But the reason why I got it is because I like the design for the movie Venom, and I like the movie Venom in general, so I figured might as well. It's only $20, so here we are. But having the figure in hand, the figure is good. The articulation is pretty good. The veins I'm not a huge fan of. In the movie, Venom not having the Spider-Man symbol, it didn't bother me. But in figure form, it bothers me. I'm not sure why, but it also has to do with a YouTuber made a custom of this Venom with the Spider-Man symbol, and it looks so much better. So after seeing that, it just, I just can't look at this figure and not say that it wouldn't look better with the Spider-Man symbol. So, and the paint is, it's just plain black, and then the veins are, I believe, printed on from computer. The teeth aren't really painted well, though I could imagine painting teeth on this figure isn't exactly the easiest to do since the teeth are pretty small. But yeah, that is my number 10. So moving on to number 9, I almost hit 8. Moving on to number 9, we have the NECA Freddy vs. Jason. If I can get him to stand. Freddy vs. Jason Voorhees figure. Normally, I don't buy figures like this. This is actually my first Jason Voorhees figure. But I've been looking for a Friday the 13th figure for a while. And mainly the thing that made me want to get this figure is because I want to do a Predator versus Jason stop motion sometime in the future. And this is the one that I thought was the best out of all the Jasons that were out. I was either going to get this or the 2018 Michael Myers figure. And I did like a little vote thing because I wasn't sure which one to do on a Facebook page, and they said that the Jason was the better over the Michael Myers, so I got the Jason, and I do not regret getting the figure. It's a pretty good figure. Articulation is limited in some parts, though that's common throughout the Jason figures. The accessories are pretty cool, and I can't wait to make a stop motion with this guy. So moving on to number 8, we have the SH Figuarts Zedon. Stand, thank you. Move you over here a little bit. I don't normally get figures like this, but when I got paid for doing a little job in the summertime, I decided, you know what? Instead of getting a Godzilla figure, let's get something different. And since there isn't really any cheap Gamera figures, I looked at Ultraman, and so I got the SH Figure Arts Ultraman Ginga and the SH Figure Arts Zedon, uh, which unfortunately, like a week after I got both these figures, the Ultraman Ginga broke, so I sent him back, and then I waited a week or two after getting my money back to rebuy him, but his price went up, so I ended up buying the other Ultraman instead, which I do regret. I mean, don't get me wrong, that figure was fun to build, and the light effect for the timer is cool, and the accessories are pretty cool, but it's super light, it's super fragile, and it's not really a good figure. It's good for like maybe taking pictures of it, but doing a stop motion with it, which I do plan on doing, it's not going to be fun, and I do not want to do it, but I'm gonna do it anyways. But anyways, this figure is pretty cool. I like the way it looks. I didn't know much about Zedon. I know much more about Zedon, and I actually figured out that this is the monster that kills Ultraman in the original series, so that actually surprised me. The articulation it's not the best. It is pretty cool, or pretty good, I should say, but it's nothing really special. It doesn't really come with too many accessories. I think it comes with maybe one or two. I can't say it for sure, but it is a pretty cool figure, and I'm excited to use it for future stop motions or whatever other kind of thing I would need it for. But moving on to number 7, which this is the hard part of the list for the next 3. Next we have is the NECA Godzilla 2003. At first, I really like this figure. The articulation is pretty, it's okay. In the tail, it's fantastic. The articulation in the tail is really good. For the rest of the body, it's okay. Right here, the shoulder things is what really limits the arm articulation. But I did think the figure looked pretty cool. But after owning the SH Figure or SH Monster Arts Godzilla 2002, my liking for this figure really dropped because that figure looks a lot more better. But I mean, it's not a bad figure. I do wish I did get the NECA Godzilla 1989 figure because that one looks a lot more better. Though with the new SH Monster Arts Godzilla 1989, maybe I'll be able to get that one since I ain't going to be able to get the NECA version. But I mean, it's not a bad figure, but it is my number 7. So moving on to number 6. This is where it really gets hard for me to pick which one I want for number 6 and number 5. So for number 6, we have the NECA Burning Godzilla 2019. No! Oh gosh, he almost fell. There we go. So this figure, it's a good figure. The articulation is better than the 2003, the NECA 2003. But the tail, isn't better than the NECA 2003. But the better articulation, and I like the way this one looks, is why it's higher than the 2003. But the hard part of this is for number 5. We're going to keep number 6 up here for a second. Is the SH Monster Arts Burning Godzilla 2019. We'll move him out of the way for a second. This is the hard part for me because I don't know which figure out of the 2 I like better. But overall, I put the SH Monster Arts Burning Godzilla 2019 higher. The articulation in this part of the body is better than this, but the tail articulation for this figure is better than that. I don't know why, but the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 2019 figures that I own have terrible tail articulation. This one is better than the standard SH Monster Arts Godzilla 2019, but still the figure does lack in articulation in the tail. I really don't know why. And also, the mouth does not close at all. I don't like the paint job on the dorsal fins for the NECA, but I do like I like the way the body looks more than the SH Monster Arts. I do like the way the SH Monster Arts looks, but it's just, if I could, I would make them tied, but I just, it just doesn't, I can't do that. I just can't. So I had to pick which one is better, that I think is better than the other, and overall I picked the SH Monster Arts over the NECA, but they're still both pretty good figures. I hope if anyone gets the Burning Godzilla from the SH Monster Arts, I hope that they get a better version than mine. I just have turbo luck for the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 2019 figures, so I hope you guys have better luck than I do. But moving on to number 4. Put these guys down here first. For number 4, we have the NECA Ultimate Lost Armored Predator. I wasn't able to get a review out for this guy, unfortunately, but I am here now to talk about it. This figure is amazing. I am so excited to have this figure. Before, I wasn't able to get the original NECA Lost Armored Predator, and then I heard that that NECA is re-releasing the Lost Tribe figures, but as Ultimates, so they have more accessories and whatnot. I was so excited because I really want this figure. It's one of my favorite looking Predators, mainly the mask, and even better, the mask glows. I can get a close look at that. It's so cool. And the accessories, it doesn't come with too many accessories, but the accessories, I can't talk. The accessories are really cool. My favorite being the sword. Though the issue I have with the sword is putting it in this way, it gets stuck, so I have to turn it around and put it in, which I don't think is the correct way to put it in, but it's not stuck that way, so gotta do what you gotta do. But the figure is really nice. The articulation is, it's limited due to the armor in some parts, but it is pretty cool. This issue I had right here, the leg was turned. I had to turn it and it popped, and it actually freaked me out because I thought I broke the figure, but I didn't, so it's all good. So that is number 4. But for the number 3, we have the NECA King Kong figure. I think NECA did a fantastic job with their first Kong figure. They really brought their A game, I guess we could say, with this. The paint, it does have some issues, but it's not terrible. I do like the scars. I think the scars are done well. The accessories, doesn't come with much. These are actually the accessories. The head sculpt and the fisted hands. But the main reason why this is number 3 and not number 2, and it's very vital to why this is the case, is because that the figure does not come with a closed mouth head. That is very vital for me. And don't get me wrong, the 1933 head is nice to have, but I would 100% swap out a closed mouth head for the 1933 head, without a doubt. It's just so much better than the 1933 head, because that's the closest that we got to a closed mouth head, and that's what I'm gonna have to use for, you know, quote unquote close mouth head. So it's just gonna look very awkward, and it's just, you know, it's just gonna look bad. But, you know, gotta do what you gotta do. I'm don't know why NECA decided not to do a closed mouth head. Maybe if they do any more Kongs in the future, if they get rights to do movie Kongs, or if they make a different versions of their Kong, maybe they'll include a closed mouth head finally. So, you know, that's just the reason why this figure is number 3 and not number 2. But it is an amazing figure, and if you want to get it, then I definitely recommend it, because it is a truly amazing figure. The articulation I have no issues with at all. The head does pop off a bit, but not too much, but that is my reasons for that. Moving on to number 2, we have the NECA Alpha Predator figure. If I can get him to stand. This figure is so amazing. I am so happy to get this figure. I think NECA did a fantastic job making their own Predator. I love the origin story behind it, and I do have some minor issues with the figure, since I've had it over about a few months, maybe like I think 5 months or so. This part right here, the blades is loose, and I do have some loose legs, but I mean, it doesn't bother me too much. I actually, when I was, messing with it too for the video, the mask was actually stuck on the figure, and I did end up breaking a part off of the mask right here. I did super glue it back on, but that is a thing that happened. But the accessories that it comes with an amazing accessories. The extra blades, the staff, and the sickle, and the throwing star. The accessories are great. The articulation is again limited in certain parts due to the armor, which is obviously common with Predators, but the articulation is still pretty good. So that is why it is at number 2, and I'm just happy to have this figure, and I'm really excited to use this for stop motions. But I gotta get better at doing Predator stop motions first. But coming in at number 1 is no surprise here, but the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 2002 figure. This figure is amazing. This is one of my favorite SH Monster Arts figures. Design-wise, it's probably not my favorite SH Monster Arts figure, but articulation-wise, definitely my second favorite, and my first favorite being the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 2014. But this figure is amazing. I'm so super happy to have it. I didn't actually think I was going to be able to get this figure, but that's what friends for, am I right? So thanks to my buddy, I have this figure. This was my birthday present from my friend, and I am so happy to have it. And, it is a bit of an older figure, but this is, of course, the reissued version. I have no issues with it. Minor issues with, some parts pop off pretty easily, but not really often. But I guess the only other issue that I have is that this eye is looking up more than it should be. But it doesn't bother me too much unless you're really looking at it. Then it does actually bother me. But overall, I like the articulation on this figure. The sculpting is nice. It's not expensive as most SH Monster Arts figures are for the good ones. So I am happy to have it, and it's my favorite figure of 2020. So yeah, that's it for this video. That's my list for top 10 figures of 2020. Your guys' list may differ from mine, depending if you collect action figures or not. But that's just my personal opinion on which figures I think are, my favorite. I don't hate any of the figures that I have in my list. Just because one is lower than the other, it doesn't mean I dislike that figure, though some figures have issues and others don't. But the only one that I really dislike for my list is probably the Ultraman figure. That is probably the only one that I dislike that I got for 2020. But overall, I liked all the figures that I got, and I'm excited to see what I get for 2021. Mainly the SH Monster Arts Biolante Special Colored version, which I should be getting, or we should be getting pretty soon. But it seems probably like at around the end of January, from some guesses I've heard from people who are, I don't know, I guess you could say professionals. I don't know, I'm not sure what you could call them. But anyways, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.